Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Mosby. Thank you for joining us for another Craft Along. Yes, one of our award-winning shows, don't you know, where basically you get the opportunity to join in with us as we craft along in real time with, well, something which we've launched very recently, and we've been doing lots of craft alongs currently because of all of the brand new launches that we've been bringing to you. And today we're going to be concentrating on the fantastic ColourBloom Inkpads. You can pick those up, of course, they are all available for you. The bundle is £72 or $88 if you're a platinum member, so you can pick up all 12 of those colours. Well, I say all 12 of those colours, it's kind of like all 24 of those colours really, because you've got that 2 colour per pad when you're adding water to these. Such a clever design. I know loads of people pick them up, and hopefully if you did, you'll be crafting along with us, or indeed saving this show to craft along further down the line. If you haven't yet got them, maybe you'll be inspired by this craft along to pick up the collection today. Not me doing the craft along, of course. I'm delighted to say that one of my absolute faves is in the building, ready to go and ready to wow you. Is this the project we're doing, Debbie?
It is.
Whoa.
Yes.
In an hour?
And it's me in an hour, yes. It's all about the techniques, isn't it? So what we can't forget is the ColourBloom are duet ink pads, which means they have that ability to do so many different things. And I tried to get everything on this card that we can do with them.
Wow.
I'm going to try and take my time a little bit, because the thing with the ColourBloom, as you probably, if you haven't seen them before, the ColourBloom reacts with water to create a different colour. So you can see this different colour in the background, the green, then can go to a blue colour as well. So it has those different variations in them, which is amazing. So we're going to try and do a few different things in that one and then put it all together. So we've kept it quite simple, Ben, but you do need a few things to craft with. So either get yourself a pen ready and write the list down, but these are the things that I am using. Now the Sheena Swallowtail Butterfly one, I've actually switched out, and only because I forgot to bring my one from home and they haven't got another one in the studio. So I'm using the Red Admiral butterfly, but it's still the same Sheena butterflies. You need your Stylish Trio stencil set, your Stitch circle nesting dies, your duets, so whatever colours you want to use. I'm using your Pink Grapefruit, your Pomegranate, your Shoal, your Summer Bouquet, and your Willow River. You need an 8x8 card blank. We're keeping it simple, so no measurements today. Literally, grab yourself a card blank or make that 8x8 card blank. Some watercolour cardstock, and then we just need a few different additional elements, which is our black cardstock, some acetate, your Gemini machine, your magnetic stamping platform, your large guillotine, your heat tool, your fine mist spray, a paintbrush, a tape pen, and some 3D glue gel. So once you've got all of those bits together, we're going to get ready to craft along. Shall we start, Ben?
Well, I think we're sort of ready and raring to go. Yeah, so why not? Let's get going.
Absolutely. Right, let's get crafty. Let's get inky and messy. So first of all, I'm taking a piece of watercolour cardstock, and we're going to trim this down. This one is going to be 7-inch square. So let's bring our guillotine in, and we're just going to trim that down to 7-inch square. Now you do need your watercolour cardstock. You don't want to be using any other cardstock. This is the one that's going to take all that moisture, all your inks, anything you throw at it, it's going to be amazing.
Would these work on like your normal card or not if you didn't have watercolour?
Law of Leanne, so the LL law, the law of Leanne, she says only to use watercolour cardstock. Now, as much as I would never go against Leanne, I've tried it on our multimedia, multi-purpose cardstock, and the ColourBloom work on there as well. The other thing I would suggest, and this is a tip from Debbie Robinson, is to gesso your cardstock. If you put a thin layer of gesso, which is just our white paint you find on the website, put a thin layer of that on, let it dry, your movement of the ink pads move even better than on any cardstock. So there's lots of different ways to do it. We're just going to use our watercolour cardstock. Now the first thing we want to do with that, we're going to take our Shoal, which is that blue one. So this one has got like the sort of turquoise blue and then the darker blue in this one. And we're going to do a sort of bit of a technique from our glass mat. So we're literally going to place some of this onto here, like so. I mean, look at the vibrancy in that colour. It's just incredible. And then then that's where we're going to take our spritzer. So we're just going to use our spritzer and we're going to spritz into there. Now, depending on how much spritz you put down, is how much sort of liquid you're going to get back up from that. And then already I can start to see just around the corners we're getting that lighter paler blue coming through, which is, you can really see that. So that's how it's activating with the water. And then all we're going to do with that, I'm going to bring my cardstock in and we're going to just place that on the top. And I'm literally just going to go down in sections and bring in that colour onto here.
Love that.
Now, you could, if you wanted to, bring in some more water to pick up some more, but I want to keep this I want it to be quite designer looking, and that's the fun thing when you've got ink pads, is you can have it just looking amazing. Now, your ColourBloom are not going to bloom so well with this technique, and the reason being is we've not let it dry. So, little tip with the ColourBloom, when you put your ink pad down, Ben, you let it dry, or you dry it with your heat tool, which is what we're going to do now. But because we've already added the water, activated the water, you won't see so much of that colour coming through.
If you've got time to let it dry naturally, is that the best way to go? Or does
Absolutely.
it not really matter?
I think if you let it dry naturally, I think it works much better. And what I would say is activate it with water, dry it, and then let it dry a little bit more, and then reactivate it, and that extra colour will come through. But it's a work in progress, these ink pads. So you can have really quick, amazing designs like this straight away, but if you then really want to bring out that colour in it, you can absolutely do that as well. So we're literally just drying this all over, turning it over, drying that down. It's all about giving it that drying time, placing your ink where you want it to go, and then just letting that settle. And also, by drying it, it means you can apply other layers around it as well.
That's what I was going to ask. So, like with your normal Duet ink pads, you can mix them and add more layers. So it's exactly the same with the ColourBloom.
Exactly the same with the ColourBloom, apart from you get those variations of colour.
Right.
So let's dry that one off. So if I wanted to now, Ben, if I just grab some water and sort of literally flick my water to there, once I let that sort of activate, that will start bringing those different tones in as well.
Yeah.
So there's also different ways of being able to do it. So I am just going to dry that off again. And as that dries, you'll be able to see those little splashes in there. Can you see the dark blue coming out there?
Yeah.
So we've got those little tiny splashes. That was only a small piece because we're going to be filling this card with quite a lot of other items.
But if you had two of the ColourBlooms on there, dried and then added water, would the secondary colours in each pad?
Yes. Yeah, so they would react
with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to add more. We're not stopping here.
No, we're not stopping.
We're not stopping. We're not stopping.
Don't stop her now.
So I'm going to bring in a totally different one. So this one's got that green hue to it as well. Now this one, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, apart from we're going to add that green. So this one has got an amazing colour, but what's great about this one as well is it has this bluey colour running through it as well. So you've got sort of the yellows, greens, blues. It's just amazing. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So this is just a case, taking your time, picking up that water, picking up the liquid and the ink, and I'm just waiting for that. Can you see? Look at that. You can really notice that one. Look how amazing that is. So all those yellows are coming out. You can see it's starting to turn into these colours here, which is incredible. So you're still getting that variation of colour. I'm going to then place this around, look at this, look, around the edges. So we're just going to pop that around and just pick up where we want to sort of fill our card with. I mean, the middle section, to be honest, that really shows. Can you see? Look how that's layered on top. How amazing is that?
It looks like planet Earth.
Yes, it does look like that. It does look like that. Right, so let's clean that piece again.
Okay.
Keep cleaning and keep drying. But this is the fun thing with the ColourBlooms, because there is just so many different things you can do with them. And I'm only sorry, to be honest, Ben, that we've only got an hour.
Wow, yeah.
So, you know, it's just one of those things. It's quite nice having an hour, because also remember that you can pause this at any time. So if you're in the middle of this and you're not onto that next stage, or you're not really happy with what you've done, it's just a piece of card. You can just keep going. But you can pause and you can stop.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to pause, Ben, by the
No.
way. But yeah, people at home are allowed to pause. So, but look at these different colours that we've got coming into here. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Is there like you know, if you're adding layer upon layer, is there a point where you'd be like stop, or is it just a case of just keep adding and adding and...
I think you can keep adding. The good thing is with ColourBloom is because they are a hybrid ink, it means that if you didn't really like it, put a lot of water on and dab it off. You can sort of dilute it all, let it dry, and then start again. But I think stop when you like it. I think that's the key. Like, if you by adding more, it's gonna get rid of what the design that you've already got, then stop adding that.
Okay.
So we're just making sure that this is fully dry, because what I want to do next is bring in some stencils.
Okay.
So lovely, look at I can't get over the colours in this.
No, it's so
this is fabulous, yeah, absolutely fabulous. I think having an ink pad that does what these do is just incredible. So I'm just straightening out my card because it will warp a little bit with the water, but you can see it goes quite flat. And then what we're going to do, let's bring in another colour. So I'm going to bring in another really different colour here. This one is our pink grapefruit, but this time we're going to go for a stencil. So the stencils I've chosen, and you can use any ones that you want, are the Stylish Trio.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use these two here. This is probably one of my favourite ones. I use it on everything. It's just a great one to have.
I like the other one. It's like water droplets, isn't it?
It is like
or
water
like fish
droplets.
scales,
Yeah.
mermaid scales.
Yeah. Oh, so and just lately we've had the Enchanted Ocean.
We have.
So that would go lovely with your Enchanted Ocean,
Yeah, it would.
wouldn't it, as well? Love that. But we're just going to use this just in sections. So I just want it sort of in the corners. So we're going to be using this one, and then I'm going to be bringing in my ink applicator. So let's just pop some ink onto there. And then wherever you want to put this, let's pop that down. So just taking that around those corner edges, just creating a little bit of difference onto there. Now I'm not holding mine down, I'm just literally doing that quite randomly, so we've got that corner edge over there. And then we're going to do that on the opposite side as well. So let's come over this one, just come down and just add that in. So completely different colours, and not colours that you think that work together, but I think it's nice just trying that variety of colours, and you can change them out, put different colours in, and also, although this is the ColourBloom, you could be using any of your ink pads to do this craft along, which is just amazing.
Could you use other ink pads with your ColourBloom?
Yes, you could, absolutely.
So you could bring in like your standard duets?
You could,
Yeah.
and you could also use your water reactives. The only ones I would say that are a different type of ink are your pigment inks. They're really juicy and they are opaque. So they are good for a bit layerable. So do you know what, Ben? I'm just thinking, I know you can heat emboss these, but imagine doing that stencil with your pigment ink pads and then heat embossing it, triple embossing it. They'd look like raindrops, wouldn't they? Look like splats of water coming over the top. So that's a really good idea to do that. Now, what you could do with this, because these are a ColourBloom, we can then activate that with some water. So let's just spritz the top of that with some water. So just on the corners here, and you can see straight away, look, literally it's coming out of there, but that will start to activate that, and you'll start getting a variation.
And I guess the
onto
secondary
there
colour is
as
going to be slightly different because you've layered it up over other colours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's going to change. So can you see underneath, it's starting to change those areas of
Yeah.
colours as well. The green is really coming out of there, so I can really see that. So you're just going to get different variations. But again, I'm going to dry this. Now, just because I haven't got very long, what I would say is leave that to dry, leave that to activate, dry it, wet it again, apply more ink, and that's going to get a different reaction every single time. But because we've only got the hour, I really don't want to waste too much time because we want to get on to doing the whole card. So just making sure those pieces are dry. It's a little bit wetter there, so just go in a little bit more at the side. And then I'm just going to grab myself a piece of kitchen towel just to mop up as well. And if these just get a little bit too wet, just use your paper. I mean, you probably won't need to do this because you'll have a bit more time. But while I'm drying it, I just want to make sure we're cleaning as we go along.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm not too worried. They're a little bit wet still, but we want to put a little bit more down because the other one I now want to do, I'm going to go back in with our shoal that we had at the beginning, and we're going to now use this one. I am going to just spritz my kitchen towel here. So it's just a little waft. Get rid of the ink that's on my ink applicator.
Yep.
That will just make sure it's then ready. I'm just going to dry it off on the other side, just to make sure, and then that's perfect. That's very dry, perfect again for my next colour. And then we're going to come in with a dotty one. So we're just going to use the dotty one as well and do exactly the same. But just because of timing, I'm not going to ink activate this. We're just going to pop this one through and just create those amazing dots.
Plenty of stencils on the website if you're short of one or two. I'm not sure if you've still got these. We might have.
I'm not sure, to be honest. We might do.
Might
not.
I don't think these
Johnny's
are.
saying not. Right, so look at that. How cool does that look?
That is brilliant.
And then let's put a bit more here.
It's almost like bubbles and splashes you've got going
You're
on
right
there,
about the Enchanted Ocean. This would be amazing with that, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You've got these.
So there we go, lots of different effects. Love that, so nice. Right, so we're going to leave that. That's our background done.
Love it.
So we've got our background done, and then we're going to do a bit more inking with some die cuts. So do we want to have a quick break and then come back?
Yeah,
Amazing.
absolutely. Isn't it brilliant though? And I think the whole point with this again is if you are someone who's a little bit worried about sort of, using inks or a little bit worried about your colour blooms, just all about just having a play, isn't it? Experimenting, getting your watercolour cardstock out and just laying some colours down, adding your water, make sure you're drying in between and just seeing the kind of different colours and effects that you can create and almost practice before you start. If you're worried about kind of going straight into a project, just have a little bit of a play with these. See the kind of thing that you can create, see the kind of effects that you can create, just by applying water differently or applying different amounts of water. It's all about having a play until you're a little bit more confident with them, and then you can get into making those projects as well. If you want the full collection, it is here for you. Details on your screen. £72 platinum or $88, but you get all of the brand new colours. You've got your pumpkin patch, the pomegranate, you've also got your aquamarine, and you've also got in there your beautiful hellebore. There's some stunning colours. This one I loved. Remember this from the launch as well, which is that gorgeous Willow River. You've got the shoal, which Debbie's been using, the summer bouquet, also your dusk orchid. Down the bottom here, you have got that beautiful stargazer, pink grapefruit, another absolutely stunning colour combo. You've got your rose cloud, and then that one there is your nebula. And again, if you're thinking of like beautiful colours to use with that Enchanted Ocean collection, which I know everyone is still talking about, plenty of colours within this set, which I think will work perfectly with that collection. Pick it all up for £72 or $88 if you're a platinum member. And as I mentioned, if you want to go individually on these two, they are available for you on the website. If you are crafting along with us, you might need a little bit of time to catch up. So let's give you opportunity to do that and take a short break. And when we come back, more with Debbie on this fantastic craft along.
Day to day looks like, on a normal day when I'm working from home, get up, breakfast, quick phone call with my daughter, and then I'm up in the craft room and I spend all my time in the craft room. If it's spending a day with the grandkids, that's it. That's my best part of the day, just spending time with family and those gorgeous little grandkids of mine. The best part of the day when I'm at work is when I go on air, because I absolutely love it. Both. I prefer a shower in the morning. I feel fresher. I feel that I can tackle my day. However, depending on how that day's been, I also would have a double shower, so I'd have one in the morning and one at night too. Absolutely, 100% coffee. Will always be coffee, and flavoured coffee is my favourite at the moment. Dare I say, it's a full English breakfast, the full works, the beans, the tomatoes, the bacon, the sausage, and everything else that goes with a traditional English breakfast. Craft along. every day of the week. I absolutely love going through the stages from the start of a project to the end of a project. So Craft Along is definitely my favourite choice. I can't leave without my lipstick. It's a given thing. I once didn't have a lipstick on me and Leanne helped me out that day. Kick off the shoes, sit down for a couple of minutes, just gather my thoughts and then grab my tea.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Yeah, there you go. If you haven't yet joined the club, do make sure you do. Maybe today's going to be your first purchase. If it is, you can get that extra 20% off and pay that price instead of that price. All the details for you on the website, crafterscompanion.com.co.uk or .eu. If you just joined us, welcome. We are crafting along with the ColourBloom Inkpads, the full 12-piece collection. And we've done our background so far, I say the royal we, and Debbie's going to move on to the next part of the project. What are we doing next?
I certainly am. Right, we're going to die cut our circles. And again, I forgot my stitched nesting dies, so I'm going to use the torn edge. But any circle nesting dies are going to work. So I've just placed these onto my watercolour cardstock and we're going to die cut these out. So you want your 2 largest circles of your nesting dies. They could be anything actually, they could be your decorative ones, so any nice nesting dies, and all they're going to do is put onto the base of your butterfly. So let's die cut those ones out, and then we're going to do a similar technique as what we did with our background.
Okay.
So let's take those ones off. Oh, they're stuck on there. There we go. Like so. And then let's get inky with these ones. Keep this because what I'm going to do, in fact, I'm just going to trim that one down. You want to keep your cardstock to stamp your butterfly in a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll pop that to the side and we've got these 2. Now, I don't need to do too much on this one because actually what I want to do is create this top layer first, and then we're just going to do a bit of inking around the edges because that's all that's going to be shown. So this first layer, we're going to do a similar thing which we did before. So we're going to use our pomegranate and we're going to use that to pick up the colour. So first of all, just pop that down. Really beautiful colour, this one. I mean, not only are these ink pads amazing because they allow you to get another variation of colour, they're just great colours in the first place. I mean, that pomegranate colour is amazing. This one, it's a little bit, it creates like an orange into it, which is amazing. So it's not always that noticeable when you first do it, but when you start picking it up and drying it, it will start to make these sort of orange pools. In fact, if I just pick this up so you can see it on here, just going to go round onto that one, and actually a little bit more wet than I wanted it to be. So, but I'm not going to worry. I'm going to dry that, and actually I'm going to leave that because I want to go back in with that. So, this is what you were saying earlier, Ben, about when are you happy with it?
Yeah.
So that was too wet for what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to have more of this look on here. If we come back to here, we can see I wanted it to have more of this sort of look. But I'm not going to worry. But actually, look at that. You can really see the oranges
really
come through on there.
So you'll now just go back in again and add another layer to achieve that
just going to
effect,
go back in, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're almost better being that way than the other way, aren't you? Going a little bit too light first.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably still a little bit wet, but it will make different pieces on there. So let's just dry that one off.
Well, that secondary colour's really coming through, isn't it now?
Yeah, you can really see that orange, can't you?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Fruity.
So yeah, it is fruity. This one is a bit like a fruit salad, isn't it?
It is like, yeah, fruit salad. I was thinking more cocktails, but fruit salad, we'll go with that.
Yeah, that's looking much better now. Loving that one. And we're just trying to be creative because we want to just have this amazing background because the butterfly is going to be covering a lot of it. So let's pop that one on. So once that's all dry, so I think we're pretty dry. Then what we're going to do, oh, and I should have said, and I hope if you've done it, don't worry, but I didn't clean my stencil, and I meant to say to you, don't clean your stencil, because what we're going to do, let me just take that away, we're going to actually use the ink on the stencil, so spritz your stencil, like I don't want that piece in, so we're going to spritz our stencil to activate that, and then we're going to do the transfer onto the back. So just tap that down. And that's going to give us this amazing ink transfer on the back there. Yeah, it's a really cool technique. So of using the sort of the waste, if you like, to give you a completely different look. So let's just...
I've got planets on the brain today because the first background you did, as I say, looked like planet Earth. I don't know what planet this reminds me of, but it looks very planety, doesn't it? Like Mars with craters on.
It does, yeah. and actually, it's come out very different to the one I originally done, but I followed the same path, but you're just going to get different variations each time. So yeah, absolutely love how that's come out. Looks really cool. Almost like a fake bubble wrap that looks, doesn't it?
It does look a bit like that. But isn't that the joy of this as well? Not quite knowing how things might turn out, because it's not a precise science, is it, this? You know?
No, not at all, yeah. Well, it's magic, that's why.
Well, that's exactly right.
It's magic,
magic.
Yes, magic.
Yeah.
We like a bit of magicry. Funny enough, when I went home last night, Harry Potter was on when I switched the telly on.
Oh, was it?
I know. So that was quite a nice little treat. So I sat watching Harry Potter.
Which one was on?
It was the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the very final one.
Oh, I've not seen either of those.
Haven't you?
I got to about film 4, I think, and then...
Oh my goodness, Ben, how have you not watched all of that?
The thing is we were watching it with the kids, and my mum said after about film 4 or 5 it gets a little bit dark, so we never started...
yeah, so the Deathly Hallows Part 1 is not what I would say probably not the best film, and it is quite a little bit depressing.
Yeah.
But the story of it all is so good. Now all I'm doing here, Ben, is we're going to use that ink pad to go round as we would normally do that ink pad. So just go round. We're getting loads of red dishes now of all the Harry Potter
Who was that an
scenes.
impression of, Johnny? I'm not quite sure.
Voldemort,
Oh, that was Voldemort,
yeah. Was it? Harry Potter.
Oh. Sound a little bit more like Tom Hardy's Bane from Batman. Oh dear. Well, I was watching The Spy Who Loved Me last night when I got in, so...
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I love a bit of Bond.
Yeah, I love Bond. We brought up on Bond. It was, yeah, it's my dad's like a massive fan of James Bond.
Yeah.
Right, let's move that out the way. Then what I want to do is we're just going to put a little spritz around. In fact, we don't need to, well, yeah, I'm going to spritz. We could use the paintbrush, but I'm just going to spritz around the edges because that's going to change the colour up a little bit. Now, this is one of my favourite things with the spritzing. Yeah. We're going to cover this, which is a shame. But what happens, you get like a mottled effect around it. How cool does that look?
That's so good.
I'm actually thinking we should just sort of leave that, but I'm going to cover, we're actually going to put this over the top. I know, it's a shame, isn't it? But that looks amazing just coming out like that. But you can see we've got the darker blue now coming into those turquoise blues. Just looks amazing. So let's dry that one off.
It looks like waves again, or like sea, almost like lapping up against the shore.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there we can see the green coming in at this side. It's got the green coming in. That's amazing.
Which colour was that, shoal?
This one is the shoal, yes. I love the shoal.
Yes.
I'm quite a blue person. I like, not as in...
you're blue.
Not as in a blue.
I wouldn't say that about you. I'd say you're one of the happiest people I know.
But I love blues.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter what shade of blue, what hue of blue, they're all just amazing. They look just incredible, don't they?
Blues and greens for me too. I'm a blue kind of guy.
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
blues and greens.
Oh, we can really start to see the green coming in around that edge and the darker blue. So amazing. Yeah. What sort of, I mean, the techniques that you could be doing with these is just incredible. And what I would say is if you've not got the Duet new ColourBloom ink pads, just treat yourself, even if it's just to a few different colours.
Try them.
Because you are going to absolutely love them. They're just Something different, something we've not had before, and something just nice to add to your stash. And also very different colours to what we've seen in any of our Inkpads, which is really good. Right, so we're going to pop that one on. That one's going to go over the top, so we've just got that nice variation there. And we're going to stick these ones together. So let's just I'm going to grab my tape pen, and we're just going to tape these ones round.
I think that's a good tip as well, like you just mentioned about, you know, if you don't want to go for the full collection today, but you like the look of these, just pick a couple of your favourite colours. Maybe go for the colours that might match with the current collection that you're using, because I think...
Oh, I love that idea.
There's nothing to be scared of, is there, with these? Because, as I say, the worst thing that will happen is that you pop some colours down, you don't like the look of it, and you've just wasted a bit of
Well, in the
card.
words of Tim Holtz, what's the worst you can do? Make a brown, and that's his favourite colour.
That's what he says.
That's what he says, yeah. He always says, never be afraid of Inkpads, because it doesn't matter what you mix together, the worst thing you can do is make his favourite colour, which is brown.
Yeah. And it's a very good point, actually, isn't it? Because you'll always use that brown somewhere. Save it for later.
Definitely.
Look at
so
this, though.
that's going to be our topper from the front. It's looking all very sort of planetary, isn't it? So right, so we've got everything ready to go. So our next thing to do is our butterfly. So let's bring that one in. So I've used the Red Admiral here. The one I used on here, that one was our swallowtail. So this one was the swallowtail, and this one is the Red Admiral. All the butterflies are the same size, which is good. And they are amazing photopolymer stamps as well. So you will find them on the website. So go on and grab yourself even a couple of these, because they are amazing. Now just pick yourself a sentiment as well. So we've got on your special day, sending lots of love, or enjoy the little things. I'm actually going to use on your special day because it has a bigger font on the special, and I think that will stamp better, because you can stamp because they're Inkpads. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to take our rocker blocks. So let's grab your largest rocker block. Now you can do this on the stamping platform, but I think it's just nicer to be able to just rock from heel to toe, making sure that you're getting all that butterfly down. So all we're going to do with this one, first of all, I'm going to pop that somewhere safe, because I know what I'll do, I'll lose it or it'll stick to something. And then I'm going to be bringing in sort of similar colours to what we've used. We've used the pomegranate to do that background. I'm wondering whether, I think I'm going to go in with the pink grapefruit instead. So just to give a little bit of variation. Or do I go in with a blue? You know what, let's try this first, because the good thing is that we can try different ones. I'm going to bring this piece of cardstock back in, and actually it's been flattened down a little bit, so I'm going to bring another piece in. So let's just have that. So watercolour cardstock, we're going to take our ink pad, and we're just going to ink that up, and you can see how juicy those ink pads are, just amazing. And also it helps because it is a photopolymer stamp, so it is the best you can get.
Best of all worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what we're going to do now, Ben, before we stamp, I'm just going to give it a really small waft of water. That's it, just one little waft over the top. And what that's going to do, that's just going to make sure that it's wet enough to do our stamping. So I'm literally rocking from heel, going forward, pressing down with my fingers in the middle, making sure that the connection is all there till the toe, and then bring that away. And we've got that amazing butterfly, which is beautiful. Now next what we're going to do, we're going to spritz this. Now when you're spritzing a stamp, what you really need to be is careful that you, in fact, let's dry it. Because what you don't want to do, you don't want it to spread too much so you lose the image. If you're using your stamping platform, you can always go back in over the top and re-stamp it, but we're not using the stamping platform, we've just used our rocker blocks. So just going to dry this one off. Love this colour. This is so beautiful.
Yeah. Do these come with dies as well to cut them out?
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do?
Yep.
I was going to say, we weren't going to see Debbie fussy cutting fingers again.
No, I've been pretty good lately, haven't I, with fussy cutting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been good with scissors. I'm a bit of a craft knife person, but I love scissors. Now, I am going to spritz. You could use your paintbrush, which I did with my other one. So if you wanted to, you could use your small paintbrush, but I am just going to spritz, a quite light spritzing. And I'm just literally going to go over, and then we're going to wait for a little while. So what what you have to do is wait for these. You let them react with the water. So it's just a case of going in, letting that wait, and then I can see here, can you see the sort of
just beginning to
starting
change.
to come out there? Yeah, just starting to change.
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah, you've got to give it time. That's the thing. If you want a bit more water, we can put a bit more on, but try and wait for that to happen, because it's there. We can see it starting to go here as well.
It's creating like a haze, isn't it?
It does create a haze, yeah. And I want to, you can really see that it's coming out a beautiful pink on there. Just going to put a little bit more at the top, just to have that. And then actually while that's there, I'm going to start to dry that as well.
It's almost colouring itself in.
It is almost colouring itself in, yeah, absolutely. And that really shows how the ColourBlooms work, because releasing that other colour, we can really see that going now, looks amazing. Just releases that extra colour, and this is a really cool technique to be able to do. And I don't need to worry, because this is going to be sort of cut out anyway, but look, you can see all that pink that's coming out of there is amazing. So what happens is your ink start to separate, which is then what releases the other colour. Yeah. Now what you can see here, can you see the oranges coming through now? So this bit is going really orange, so we've got oranges, we've got pinks in there, we've got that coral colour, they're just amazing. So just drying that a little bit more. And then we're going to just spritz that one more time. Okay. So let's just give that another little spritz. Are we doing all right for time, Ben?
I think we're okay. We've got about 25 minutes left, I think.
Oh, amazing. Like we're all good. We're all very good. Right, so we're just letting that go again. Now I've spritzed it again, I can really start. It's almost like a pebble dash. And you can see all the oranges coming through on there. The oranges around here, in the middle. Why is thought I'd said something wrong then.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You were all good. Just got a couple of children in the gallery. Oh dear.
Right, let's dry that one off. So we've got that beautiful lay down of colour. And you'll get it different every single time. If you go in with the colour again on the top, which is what I did before, you then get more of that orange coming through as well. So let's just dry that one off. Now what I'm going to do now is, we're not stopping there because we've got lots of blues in our backgrounds. We're going to bring that blue back in, but this time I'm just going to put a little bit on the side, and then we're just going to bring in our paintbrush and flick some of the colour at it. So literally just a wet brush, picking up this. I mean, look at this. It's just amazing that you can paint with that now as well. But all I want to do is just put a little sprinkling down of that over the top, and then we're going to dry that off as well. In fact, I'm going to spritz that just to give that a little bit of help.
So even from a small amount of that, you'll still get the secondary colour coming out? Still get the secondary
colour, yeah.
That's incredible.
I know, they're so amazing. So I'm just going to spritz that just to allow that to spread as well. And then you'll get those extra, so you can see the darker blues coming through here.
Yeah.
They're just amazing. And you can see green now starting to come. Yeah, just absolutely incredible ink pads. So let's just dry that one off. And of course it's all looking a little bit messy, but once we cut it out, it's going to look beautiful when we put it in place.
I wouldn't say messy, I'd say artistic.
Artistic. Now if you wanted to bring in a little bit more of the colour, like say into the body, let's go back in. So if you bring in that pomegranate, let's put a little bit down there. You can literally paint that in as well. So I've got a blue paintbrush now, so let's just take that. In fact, that's too wet now. Let's just pick that up. And then we can literally go in and paint extra down into the body. So you'll get a deeper colour there. So just take it round, and you're just following what's already there, but you're just creating that stronger body. And then let's dry that one. And then all we're going to do, I think once that's dry, I'm going to just give that a little bit more of a spritz, so that changes the colour a little bit in the centre. And then we're ready to die cut that out.
I think more than anything as well with this craft along, if you are on the fence with these, I think hopefully you've seen how much Debbie's just enjoying using these. Almost sort of very carefree crafting, not really, how can I put it? Don't stress too much about these, because I think people stress about mixed media and stress about colours and think, oh, is it going to work? I think at least grab a couple of these, so then at least you'll know how much you're going to enjoy them.
Absolutely,
if you're not going to go for the full bundle today.
They're just so much fun and so beautiful colours that you can use. I think you can't go wrong with Inkpads like this.
No.
And I'm like, I don't know where someone got the idea for them from. And even, how did anyone come up with a technology that can do that? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. People far cleverer than I.
You what, sorry?
People far cleverer than me.
Yes.
Came up with it.
And me, Ben, and me. Both of us, yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's why we don't design things.
Exactly right, yeah, exactly right.
Right, let's bring in our die set. So we've got our die, we've got that bigger one there. So we've got two sides to the dies. So I love these. So if you haven't seen them, just go on the website and have a look, because all of these come with a two-part die. Cutting them together, we'll just cut one out completely. So I'm going to use my low-tack tape, and we're just going to tape that in just to create those wings. So the first one just over that top, making sure it covers all the way round.
Yeah, I forgot about these. It's a two-piece, isn't it? So you can go...
So you could cut it at the side of a card. So you can almost make them like into an edgeable. And then our next, oh, we need to do these separately. I forgot about that. So just going to do one, and then we'll place the other one through. So die cut the one out first. So let's run that one through and cut that. So they're nice and quick, but I love the fact that you can be really sort of adventurous with how you place them on your cards. And you could have them go from each side. You could have just one cut in. Yeah, they're amazing. So that gives us our first cut. So let's just take that one away. And then our next one, take that one down. So that way I can line that up with my cut that I've already done, just round like so, like there. I think a little bit more.
Sorry, I missed that. So why didn't you put both of them on together? Would they not fit?
No, they don't fit. They overlap, so they cut directly out. You'll see in a second. Yeah, if you put both on, and I remembered that from when I put it through, if you put both through together, it would overlap one of the dies.
Okay.
The great thing about these is that it cuts precisely. So you'll see it cuts out that full butterfly, but you just do it in two separate parts. And we've done that, or Sheena's done that, so it gives you the versatility of being able to just cut the left or the right side. There you go, look, it just fell out. Look at that, perfect cut all the way round. Right, so that gives us our beautiful butterfly. And now let's start, oh no, we've got to do our background. Let's use a part of this actually. So not background, a sentiment. So we're going to use a sentiment. So again, rocker blocks, let's bring that one in. Pop that to the side. I will wash all those afterwards. We're just going to pop that into place.
What sentiment are you going for?
So this one is on your special day.
Oh.
So we're just going to place that one in. That's going to be stamped out. And we're just going to use, in fact, let's tie that in with a blue, I think. So tap the blue down. And then place that. I'm just going to do it on the edge so we can just make a little square out of it. That's going to stamp that down beautifully. And then I'm even going to give that a little spritz as well. It's all about spritzing
That's
today.
It.
And then what's going to happen there is just a little bit that will start to sort of separate but give that haze around, which is really pretty. You can add a bit more water. And like I say, the thing with the ColourBloom is that they just take their time. And I love that because you want them to sort of separate, but you don't want it to happen within seconds because you won't be able to see that colour coming through. So it's just starting to work now. But how we do, oh, we're all right for time. We're all good, aren't we? So literally going to add a little bit more, I think. There we go. And then just let that do its thing. Let's dry that off as well. So where's my kitchen towel?
So you'll be rewarded with your patience with these, won't you?
That's exactly it. I love that, Ben. Yeah, you would be, absolutely.
It reminds me a little bit of those, I don't remember those adverts back in the UK a few years back for that, the black and white drink. Remember that? And they used to like pour it.
Black and white drink?
Yeah. Goodness. And then the adverts would be tick after tock after tick
Oh,
after tock,
okay,
and
yes.
we'd be waiting for that's what it's like with these.
Yes.
Bit of
I
patience.
know what you mean now. I was actually thinking of a different drink. Do you remember a drink that you used to come in a two-part bottle? One was white, one side was white, one side was dark. And you poured it together and then they mixed and then the white would go to the top. I can't remember what drink that is. Perhaps someone will remember that.
What,
but,
alcoholic or?
Alcoholic drink, yeah.
I
Alcoholic
do
drink.
not remember that at all.
Yeah, and it was a two-part drink, and and the bottle was really pretty, and it was sort of like that and come round at the side, but half of it was white, half of it was.
Oh, like a. Oh, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, but it was a
Half
two-part
was black,
drink.
half was white.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
oh
then when
my-
you poured the drink, it
It
came
was
out the
mixed
two
together.
parts. Yeah. Yeah.
Google.
Yes, Google that one. You can Google that, Ben. Right, we're just going to trim that. So literally just trim it down. Doesn't have to be any particular size. We're just going to trim that down. Oh,
I thought it was something more exciting than that. Sheridan's Irish Coffee Cream Liqueur.
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is it still available then?
Like that?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Right, I've also got some black cardstock. Now, while I've got the black cardstock out, I'm going to use this for here as well. So I'm going to trim this down. We made this to 7 inches, so I'm going to trim it to 7 1/4 inches. So just 7 1/4. So that's 7 and then another quarter. So 7 1/4, and we're going to do the same on the other side. That'll give me that piece, and then we're going to use a piece of this. Is that a bit? Oh, look at that. That's going to work
Perfect.
perfectly, that little strip. So all we're going to do is take that off, place that there. I'm doing that all by eye, so it is just a case of mat and layering your black cardstock and onto your white one. So let's move that to the side and stick these pieces together. So let's bring in that card base. So I've got my 8x8 card. I'm going to do it as a 10th fold card, and then we're going to pop our black cardstock down and then bring in our lay down of colour, so you can see it really makes that pop by putting the black around. If you want to be more frugal, Ben, then just bring in your paper trimmer and you can trim down the centre, like gut the middle out.
Oh, yes.
And that way you can use that for your die cuts or other layers if you want to. But just for demo purposes, we'll just use our black card to pop down. So we're going to pop that right in the middle of our card. Sort of, I'm just doing it by eye, just seeing that there's enough gap around the edges. And then we're going to do the same with this one. We'll go over the top.
Yeah.
So we'll lay that one down and come round. Do you, I know you craft a little bit with Daisy. Do you like getting inky? Do you use ink pads?
Funny you should say that. For those who are big fans of the Mosby's Makes episodes over on YouTube, at Ben Mosby CC on YouTube. The most recent one I did actually was with the Duet Inkpads. And I had a lot of fun.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, just creating and that was the thing with me, because I was a little bit the same actually, because I think I've got quite competent now with die cutting and putting cards together and stamping, that side of things, you know, like making cards. I feel very, I'm not on your level, but I feel confident in doing that.
Yes.
Whereas pens and maybe ink pads were a little bit more, and I understand this, why people go, ooh. So I made myself do a little half-hour show where I got the ColourBlooms out. And do you know what I did? I was like, I'm just going to have a play here. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And guess what? It worked.
It worked.
And it looked really good.
Oh, I love that.
So
Actually, I think that's a prime example, Ben, because it just shows that it's about confidence.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're afraid of things where we don't need to be afraid of things.
Yeah.
So we're having that confidence to do that.
I'm a big fan of the phrase, and I don't know who it was that came up with it, was just sort of enjoy the experience, enjoy the journey.
Yep.
And that's the best advice that I can give from someone who just, you know, likes to have a bit of a go and just do it with no trepidation, no fear, and have in mind. I love that Tim Holtz quote. What the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to make a brown.
Yeah, exactly. It's always stuck with me because I just thought that was brilliant, because that's exactly it, isn't it? Is when if you're doing a colour, anything you do, it's like, so we often say like you'll make a muddy colour, which is brown. But like Sheena, if you look at a lot of Sheena's things, she loves making a brown.
Yeah.
It's like her thing to do those things.
But isn't it funny though? I think more like watching you today, for example, for this craft along,
Yeah.
very kind of carefree, very experimentational.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas, and people worry about that. Whereas I think when you're doing more precise and you must cut to this and you must cut to that,
You make
people
more
are-
mistakes.
Yeah, but I think people are more confident about that, where you're more likely to make a mistake. Whereas with this,
Yes.
it isn't as scary.
And I've
if you
really
look at it
learned
like
that over time, because mixed media used to be really scary to me. I used to say, I can't do mixed media.
Yeah.
Sarah used to say to me years ago, Debbie, can you do the mixed media show? I was like, no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I can't do a mixed media show. I don't know. Apart from anything else, I mean, you guys know me. I don't like getting messy. But I've learned over time that actually the messy stuff isn't so messy. You can clear up as you go along. But what you get value-wise and confident lifting-wise is incredible. Anyway, let's get back to this one.
Yeah.
All I'm going to do now, I'm going to take that pomegranate and just go round the edges just to make that a little bit more distressed. So literally just dabbing that in. Just so that gives me, and really what I want it to do is I want it to tie in with our background. We don't want that to be just plain white. So we've just popped that in, looks nice and distressed now. I'm going to use some foam pads just to heighten that a little bit onto the black. So just place some of those on. We've all the big foam pads have been used again, Ben. So
Dear, oh
we
dear,
need to
oh
get
dear.
some, yes. But actually, I quite like this size foam pad. They're nice and small. Well, they're small enough to use, but look really cool. And we're going to pop. Actually, I'm not going to pop that on yet. Let me pop that to the side because we've got our toppers to put on as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've lost. What am I saying?
For somebody who doesn't like to get particularly messy, it's a messy old countertop
It is
over
a messy
there.
old countertop over there. Yeah, absolutely. I'd forgotten I was putting this onto my black cardstock. There we go. So we've got that on black. Then we pop that to the side. Right, I'm going to also use, I've got a few here that I found that are bigger. So we're just going to pop these on. Now, a little tip here, if you are using any inky background and you are sticking down, your foam pads might not stick properly to
Okay.
it. So what you want to do is when you take off your backings, so it's just take those off. When you've got those backings off, use a little bit of your tacky glue, because what your tacky glue is going to do, that's going to help seep into the actual cardstock and your inks, and then it won't come unstuck.
Okay.
And especially if you're giving this to somebody. So if you're actually planning on this as a birthday card or whatever sort of card you want it to be, if someone's going to put this on their shelf or it's near a radiator or anything like that, it's going to end up falling apart. So, and that's what you don't want it to do. So we're just going to place that right in the center like so. So I'm just going to hold that down just for a few seconds, and that will make sure that that's stuck fast. So that's not going to come off now. I know that's going to be stuck. Then we're just going to place this one on the edge, and in fact I'm going to do the same thing. Let's put some tacky glue on there.
Haven't the
just
colour
to make
combos
sure.
come out brilliantly as well? It's such a great combination of colours.
Yeah, and I mean, they're colours that we probably wouldn't always put together, but I
No.
just wanted to show that variation of colours that we've got there. So let's just place that on there like so. And then we've got our butterfly somewhere. Here we go. And let's just, I'm going to curl my wings a little bit. Let's find my pokey tool. So just taking that one off, like so. And then we're just going to place that into the centre. So pop that one. All I'm going to do is use that, and I am using the tacky glue. What I would also suggest with tacky glue is letting it sit for about 30 seconds to a minute. And that'll make it go really tacky and make it really sticky. So let's just pop that on. That's going to go, in fact, we'll have it that way in the middle there. And that's going to be our background. Now I know we've got a little bit, a few minutes extra, so what I thought we would do is just, I wanted to show that technique again on a bit bigger scale by using your sort of the yin and yang, sort of the positives of the stencils.
Yeah.
So there's your actual finished card, so there we
So
go.
good.
And if I bring in my other one, you can see how it just looks slightly different, so you
Yeah.
get that variation of colour, but actually both have come out very similar, haven't they? But do get creative with those amazing ink pads.
Absolutely.
Now, if I could just grab myself, I'm just going to go and grab
Yeah.
a piece of watercolour cardstock.
Just whilst you do that, I can just quickly show you again the kind of things that you can create with your Duet ColourBloom. So amazing that one pad will create the two different colours, and this again just lots of different techniques to show you how you can bring that colour to the fore. And don't forget also all the different colours that you're going to be receiving within this set, and this again just shows you in a little bit more detail the kind of thing you can expect to achieve just with the application of water from the 12 colours that you're going to be receiving if you go for the full collection. But as I've mentioned, if you just want to try these out, maybe go for a couple. Like we've mentioned, we keep talking about that Enchanted Oceans collection because it's the one that everyone's still going on about. If you've gone for that, you know, you might be thinking to yourself, well, the shoal will work nicely. Maybe the nebula will tie in nicely with that. Maybe that dusk orchid as well. Think about the collection that you're currently working with and which colours will suit you best is what I would say if you're picking and choosing. But if you've got the budget and you love what Debbie's done, if you're going to need these, there you go, the price is on your screen. So just before we go, you wanted to show us one more technique, yeah?
Yeah, I was going to show you that same technique, but just show you how, if you do it on a bigger scale, how amazing it looks. And I thought I'd just use a different colour. It's quite nice because to actually get a craft along done in the hour is really cool. It allows people to just catch up on all their craft alongs as well. So all we're doing, this one is, dusk orchid. So beautiful purple colour. So let's just bring that down. And bearing in mind, you could do this with any stencil. So we're just making sure that we put plenty on there, all over the top. Just making sure that goes through and you're really filling that out, like so. Do you have a favourite craft, Ben?
Do I have a favourite craft? Anything that works well for me. I really enjoy. I really enjoy card making. I enjoy the process of. I enjoy like matting and layering and I love die cutting.
Yeah, die cutting's really cool. Well, you've got your own machine, haven't you?
Well, I do have my own machine, and I like the fact that it's quick and easy and precise. But having done that one little show, as I say, with Inkpads, that's kind of something I want to explore a bit more now. I've kind of dispelled my own myth of it being scary.
Yes, absolutely.
You know.
Yes, so once you've done this, normally you could either wash that away and wash it onto a piece of cardstock and that will then transfer. But it's really cool to be able to spritz it with water and then, I've lost it, there it is, spritzer, still got water in there. Spritz it on the top like so, because then you get that other transfer.
Oh, yeah.
So let's pop that onto there. And then just let's grab a piece of kitchen towel.
What's your favourite thing to do?
I think I'm definitely a die cutter.
Die cutter.
Yeah, I love die cutting. Yeah, I think the possibilities it can get on there. Look how cool that then looks. And then if I spritz this one, because that would have dried a little bit, probably would have needed it a little bit longer, but let's just spritz that and just let that settle for a little while. Because what we'll see with this one, which one have we got? The dusk orchid, you've got that pink coming through on here. So we're starting to see that happen already coming through. But I love this technique. It's such a different one that you can do for your backgrounds, but that's a really nice one to use over the top of your colour backgrounds. But this one we can see is starting to, all the pink started to release in there.
Yeah.
And then dry it between stages, and once you've dried it, you'll get then the most amazing effects come through from these. So amazing ink pads. Shall I recap on the actual colours that you're getting on
why
these?
not? Just before we go.
Let's bring them in here. So pumpkin patch we've got, so you can see your yellows and your oranges. You've got your stargazer. You know what? I don't even know. We've mentioned the cosmic collection. Some of these would go amazing with the cosmic collection. Your rose cloud. That's a really subtle one, but absolutely beautiful. So that's a lovely one. So yeah, that's your rose cloud.
Yeah.
We've then got our anemone. So anemone, another beautiful one. You've got your purples that come out of that with your turquoises. Your nebula, another beautiful one. So your blues and your purples. You've got that dusk orchid. I'll bring that one back in. That's the one I've just used. You can see all those pinks are starting to release through there as well. You've then got your summer bouquet. You've got your pink grapefruit, which is a beautiful one, and then you've got your pomegranate, which I've been using throughout, and then the last one you've got your hellebore as well. So fabulous ones that you can use. So if you can stretch to all of them, go for them, but if you're not, go for specific colours that you like.
Absolutely. And what a brilliant show. And of course, if you have gone for them today, or if you've bought them previously and you're waiting on delivery, you've now got that fabulous craft along to do when you get them. Thanks to Debbie, it was a brilliant project. And as I say, I think once you've got these and you start playing with them and you realise the potential of them, very, very quickly they will become your go-to ink pads. And yeah, if you're one of those people going, oh, mixed media, a little bit scary, jump in, grab a couple today, grab 2 or 3, give them a try, and I can almost guarantee that you will be coming back to grab more. Platinum price on that full collection is £72 or $88. And as I say, all of the colours are available for you individually as well. So do make sure you jump in and grab them. Massive thank you to Debbie for what was a fantastic, brilliant craft along, and thank you to you for watching as well. And we will catch you back here very soon on Crafters TV. Until then, bye for now.